The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, first saw the light of day on April 4, 1949 with 12 original members. Since then, the coalition has undergone 9 rounds of expansion. The 12 founding members were the United States, Canada, the UK, Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Iceland, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Portugal, and Norway. The coalition was promoted as a defensive alliance of Western countries against the Soviet Union in the wake of World War II. 3 years after its inception, NATO welcomed Greece and Turkey as new members, reinforcing their southern flank. This was followed by the accession of West Germany in 1955, and after the unification in 1990, the lands of the former German Democratic Republic. Spain joined NATO in 1982 despite public opposition, especially from the country's Socialist Party. And after the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, NATO saw this as a golden opportunity for further expansion eastward. Files show that in 1994, then US President Clinton repeatedly misled and manipulated his Russian counterpart, Boris Yeltsin, on the question of NATO's eastward expansion, with Clinton insisting on focusing on partnership for peace. The NATO-Russia Founding Act was signed in 1997, highlighting cooperation and security between Russia and the coalition. And then in 1999, Czechia, Hungary, and Poland, all former Soviet states, became members of NATO. NATO's expansion remained a point of contention between NATO and Russia, with the latter repeatedly expressing concerns about the alliance's eastward expansion. Despite the voiced-out concerns, NATO did not stop, and in fact doubled down, further raising concerns in Russia. In 2004, NATO had a second wave of expansion, adding Bulgaria, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania, Slovakia, and Slovenia to the alliance, making it the largest wave of expansion in NATO history. 5 years later, Albania and Croatia reinforced NATO's presence in Central Europe. This came amid tension reaching record highs between the alliance and Russia, especially after the short-lived Russian-Georgian War in 2008 and the annexation of Crimea in 2014 following the Maidan coup and Ukraine's attacks on the eastern Donbas region, which resulted in the suspension of all practical cooperation between NATO and Russia. Montenegro became part of NATO in 2017, giving the alliance more access to the Adriatic Sea. In 2020, North Macedonia became the 30th member of NATO. And then in 2022, based on fears of NATO's expansion, Ukraine's intent to join the alliance, and the repeated failure of the US to provide security guarantees, Russia, having exacerbated all diplomatic efforts, decided to launch an offensive into Ukraine.
Народные республики Донбасса обратились к России с просьбой о помощи. Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
The most recent accession to NATO was Finland in April 2023. Finland's accession adds 800 miles to NATO's border with Russia, further asserting Russia's fears. After Finland, Sweden is set to be the latest country that joined the alliance, and Sweden's accession would increase NATO's access to the crucial Baltic Sea. As a member of the Arctic Council, Sweden's membership would increase NATO's presence in the region right at Russia's western borders. This historic overview shows that NATO's expansion is not a response, but somewhat of an aggression that threatens the stability of an entire continent that is currently used as a proxy by the United States to fulfill its imperialistic agenda.